Hi everyone, my name's Hugo. I'm the founder of Auto Studio. We are a B2B lead gen agency, and at the time of recording this video, we currently have 9 clients on retainer, and over the past month, we've sent 45,000 emails. So today, I'm really excited to share what I hope will be some useful insight on cold email lead gen, and well, a tool if you watch any of my videos, I'm naturally a big believer of, and I feel when done right, it's an incredibly effective new business driver. So without further ado, this is what we're basically going to cover today, and the 5 most common cold email mistakes and what you can do to avoid them. So with a lot of people just starting out, there are 2 categories you usually fall into. So the first one is those of you firing off emails en masse, just hoping for the best. Admittedly, I slightly fell into that category. And then secondly, those feeling overwhelmed. You see the potential, but have no idea where to start. Either way, if you fall under any of those 2 categories, this video is for you. So over the next 5 to 10 minutes, I'll walk you through the top 5 pitfalls I've seen. And, as I said, yes, I've very much fallen in myself. And well, hopefully, I'll show you how you can sidestep these common blunders. So first off, ICP, ICP, ICP. So this segmentation, when not done correctly, this is like turning up to a vegan food festival and trying to serve up steak. Funnily enough, people aren't going to be that happy. You'll basically find your messages are going to be massively watered down, missing the mark. And well, being UK based, this is also a classic trap you fall into with people getting on their high horses about GDPR. Don't get me started on that. But most importantly, actually, if we're going to look at it very basically, this is going to just massively increase the likelihood of your emails being marked as spam, and the knock-on effects and the faff of just going through resetting up more domains and inboxes is just not worth your time. And as I said, if it can be avoided, this is exactly what you should be doing. So what is the better path? So I touched on this in a past video of mine, but as a top level overview, you should really start by collecting all the relevant prospects data. So what is that? That's what's their job title of the kind of people you're going to be targeting, their industry, where's the location, then what's the company revenue, and is it an SME, is it a larger business? You just need to think about all of that. And then finally, just like the employee count. And the reason employee count is important because naturally the bigger businesses you're going to be targeting, you'll probably find there's going to be way more actual carved out roles for the particular service or product you're selling. However, the smaller businesses, there's going to be a bit more of emerged roles. So, more people, less people. So, less people, more people, less people are going to be doing a more host of jobs. That makes sense. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, you get what I say. So anyway, so then basically the next thing is you need to get your database squeaky clean. So remove the duplicates, the outdated info, and then categorize these contracts into well-defined segments. I'd say this isn't just, this isn't just about compliance. You've got to remember you're going to be reaching out to people totally cold. And that's one thing I would say is, they do not know who you are. They've never heard of you. So I think most of all, this is what I would say is like, because when you get it wrong and you suddenly reach out to someone, sometimes, you can make the mistake of it just get a lead coming onto your list and it's not necessarily totally relevant. And, people are like, look, mate, like if you're going to reach out to me, at least look like you've done research about my industry, and make it relevant to me. So, it's about showing people respect that you're putting the hard yards, and at the very least, essentially make your messages appear targeted. You want to show them you value their time and, also their inbox. So basically, clean your list. This is more dependent when you get lists from, I use ListKit and Apollo. So basically ListKit, they triple verify their leads, making sure they're totally up to date. However, Apollo, which is another one I use, which is quite popular, they don't go through the same lengths to do all of this. So a third-party site I use is called A Million Verify, which I'd really recommend to go through and clean your lists and make sure you clear everything up before you upload your campaign. So basically bonus make sure you clean your list. So the next thing is crafting a lengthy message. Mistake number 2, essentially turn your emails into the next War and Peace. So imagine this: you've done everything right, your emails land smack down in the primary inbox. The receptionist sees it, pauses, whatever that be, their cat video on YouTube. No, I'm joking. But here's the issue, as I've said previously in the previous step, they've never heard of you. And, let's face it, everyone's incredibly busy, or everyone obviously likes to tell you how incredibly busy they are. So you've got to think like, why are they going to listen to you? So you need to make it as easily as possible for them to read. Like I can't stress this enough, guys. And, to start with, that's to not make an essay, for them to read, make it as easy as possible, easy to navigate. We've all got those massive emails in our inbox that we do have to read. And, I, for one, know those sort of emails are the ones that I end up just putting off and off and off until I actually read them. So if you're contacting someone totally cold, you just need to make it as easily as possible for them to read. Like in the past one, with the list, you need to show them respect by actually doing the correct targeting. Your emails now need to respect their time. And rule of thumb, I've found the sweet spot is around 50 words, and at a max 70. But kind of somewhere in between is fine. But yeah, I really, really wouldn't recommend going more than 70. So how do we do this? So there are a host of different ways of going about crafting the ideal email, and I'm not going to go into that in real detail right now. But if you can hold yourself to 3 things, the first one is obviously personalization. So what could that look like? Maybe that's a personalized greeting, something that shows you're not just spamming or blanket messaging, thousands and thousands of people, that, you essentially, this is an obvious comment, but you just want to be making your emails come across that you personally reached out to them. You want to make it as unique to them as possible. Essentially, as I said, you don't want to come across as a blanket email. Then the next point is just highlighting their pain points. I think this is an issue I actually made starting out, but I think it's also a common issue. Is just the classic example of just talking too much about yourself. Going immediately into pitch mode, like me, when actually you need to be articulating what their pain points could be. So it's much more of a you angle rather than a me angle. What are their pain points going to be? Talking about those problems, and then you can then go into the me on what you've done to sort them. Then wrap it up with a clear call to action. What are the next steps? What are you trying to get out of this email? And then also don't forget to A/B test. You should be writing different angles for each email to split test what's ultimately resonating best with your audience. So this is one actually. So yeah, including unnecessary attachments. I would say this is a slightly understated one, but it can so often be made. This sort of kind of goes back to the idea that you're not selling your product or service on the email. Your main goal is to sell the call. It's like I guess a good analogy is like a first date. You're not going to bring all your school trophies or childhood drawings and your pet hamster to the bar, or whatever your identity is. I don't know. You're not going to bring all of that to the bar. You're not going to have your family waiting outside 5 minutes after the drink. She pops out to the loo and then no, look, here's my whole family. You're going to keep it light. You're there to spark interest, not overwhelm them, and basically make them run a mile. But okay, so picture this: you crafted an email, it's concise, hitting pretty, 50 to 70 words, then boom, you've attached a 25-page PDF. That's just another thing you're hoping to get read, and if anything, it's actually just another distraction. So if your cold email is doing the job well, it should lead to a phone call or a meeting. Wait until that call happens, where you can have a positive conversation, engage their interest further, and then only then, once you've had that conversation, that's where you can follow up with that killer attachment you were itching to send. Okay, so fourth, so not following up. I think obviously not everyone follows up, just following up to see if you saw my previous email. We're all guilty of sending those kind of emails, but I think this deserves its own spotlight because follow-ups and the process of following up is so crucial. And there's a bit of a debate on how many follow-ups are too many, but let me lay it out straight. If you've got positive reply, you've got someone who's said an initial, shown initial interest, why the hell wouldn't you keep the conversation going? And here's a stat. So a staggering 80% of sales need at least 5 follow-ups before they succeed. People are busy. It's not that they're ignoring you. Chances are they simply just haven't had the time to respond. Persistent doesn't mean pestering. It just kind of means just staying on their radar in a respectful way. And essentially, my rule of thumb is just follow up until they tell you to stop. In terms of tactics, so one tactic I've started doing more recently, which I highly recommend, is so I follow up maybe 2 or 3 times via email, and if I still don't get a response, I then pick up the phone. And I literally did that yesterday. So I had 5 positive conversations going, and I got to about the 3rd follow-up, and out of the 5, so I called 5 people. The 2 that picked up I've now converted into a call, and ultimately I think it's amazing. You'd be surprised how many people shy away from a phone call, and I think that's a great way of just humanizing yourself and kind of sticking your neck out and kind of separating yourself from the competition. But as I said, look, if you're willing to make a call, you're setting yourself apart. You're showing the initiative and genuine interest. So okay, so the first follow-up might be a gentle nudge, just bring this back to your inbox. The second could be a bit more value, maybe share an insight or relevant piece of content. And if you're going for the third, then when you can be bold, offer to clear up any questions over a quick call. But anyway, remember, the goal isn't to nag; it's to remind that you're here and you mean business, like literally. You're not some kind of bot. You're here, you want to talk to them, you generally want to help them. You, their pain point, what you can do to solve those problems. And again, I keep going back to the dating analogies, but you wouldn't propose on the first date, right? So you got to build up to the task, and sometimes that means picking up the phone and showing you a real person who's seriously interested in making things work and improving their business. Right. Finally, call to action. What are the next steps? So you put in all the hard work, you have their interest, they're ready to email, but your CTA should be as clear, it should be as clear as a bell. There just can be no room for ambiguity. So I can't say that word. Ambiguity. Yeah, ambiguity. So what do you want what do you want your reader to do? You've crafted this perfect email. I've got to the bottom. What are they? What's the end goal? Schedule a demo, sign up for a webinar. Say it plainly. Click here to schedule a call at your convenience. That's going to beat. Feel free to reach out, subscribe, or follow us on 12 different platforms. You're just there. You're just asking them to run in circles. So yeah. Keep it simple. One email, one call to action. This isn't a buffet. More isn't better. It's just more confusing. So when you scatter multiple CTAs, you're going to dilute the impact of each. It's like telling someone to run north and south at the same time. It doesn't work, and you won't get anywhere. So craft each call to action to be actionable and direct. If your email is about booking a meeting, your CTA should be book your 15-minute consultation here, or it should be, here's the link to my calendar. Hopefully you can find a time that suits. Simple, direct, no confusion. And the sharp focus will make it easier for your recipient to make a decision and act on it. Hopefully, and what I've found, substantially increasing your response rate. But remember, every word in your email is part of the path to leading to that CTA. Don't lead your prospect to a dead end or a maze. Lead them straight to an open door with a big bright sign labeled "This way to success." Anyway, guys, I hope that's helpful, and I hope you've found some value out of it. And please give me a like or contact me in the messages if you want any help with this. I'll be happy to assist. But I think the way to look at it is this is a continually evolving process for me, and I'm still learning more and more every day I do this. But hopefully you found some value out of this, and I'll see you all next time.